Yo, what's up everybody? How's it going? Thank you for stopping by. I just really wanted to EQ my speakers and show you guys the process of EQing if you want to like make your speakers sound better. If you notice that it just doesn't sound as good as something else or weird or any issues, you're curious, this is how I do it. I'm just going to go through everything and hopefully can help you understand how all of the things work to get stuff done. First off, we're going to need a microphone, and you can buy several different kinds of microphones. I wouldn't recommend these $20 ones. They're not going to be that great. And what these are going to be is, this is a room, I'm so sorry, measurement microphone. This is a measurement microphone. So you want to take your measurement foot microphone. This has a cute little tip. It's so cute. And yeah, you need a measurement microphone to be able to do things. Okay, basically what this is, just to make this understandable, a measurement microphone simply records the decibel volume, how loud something is at whatever frequency. So if we go back to our little REW graph here, we can go to even a waterfall plot, fancy stuff here. So up here at the top, it's showing how loud each frequency is. This microphone does that. And if you got a low pitch note, big old low bass note, it'll show you how loud exactly that note is. And correctly, all the way through the whole spectrum. So whatever you're listening to. And it's really nice. What they do is they just take one of these microphones, they put it in a chamber, and they take a known signal that is perfectly flat, the same volume level through all the pitches, and they just play it through this and reference that. Then you get that little file, and when you apply that file, it corrects the whatever the color is, the EQ that's all wobbly on this, back to flat. And since it's flat, you get a true measurement. You actually get really good results. And this fancy waterfall plot graph, this is simply how long the note is at what volume. So let's say at 1000 hertz, you hear a note at 80 decibels. This is how loud it is over time. You really want everything to dip down and kind of go down and into get quiet and stuff like that. So I'll go over how I take a measurement with REW and get that all set up. I would definitely go with like a $60 mic. There's XLR mics. XLR mics are not actually this one. What you're going to need to do with the cheaper ones here is you're going to need to have yourself an audio interface. You just need anything that can have the microphone plugged in and send the signal to the speaker that's going to be used, and then have it plugged into the computer for the data, the rest of the data stuff. And all that is because you need to be able to play the sound to the speakers and have the measurement from the microphone be in the exact same spot. And the audio interface will make sure that the time alignment's perfect. That's if you're gonna like set up subwoofers and bigger systems and more complicated stuff. You wanna get time alignment done. You would wanna go with an actual XLR microphone instead of this one, which is actually the easiest one. If you just wanna do some EQs, you wanna have a really good measurement microphone that just tells you how loud stuff is at any frequency. You figure out the loudness of room noise. Like, when you bring up your phone and it tells you that how loud the room is, well, how accurate is that? Especially if it's at a certain frequency and other factors. This will actually do that correctly for you. And that is the Mini DSP UMic-1, which is $130, but it is USB-C. If you look on the back there. So that means you can plug that into whatever you need, and just makes it a lot more easier, which is fine. I wouldn't go with much higher than like maybe a $200 to $300 model, because after that you're getting into specialty mics. Like, this is rugged and individually tested. And like super accuracy, industry reference standard is like this Earthworks M30. That's when you want to get like really fine detail if you're to capture like the all of the frequencies of an instrument as accurately as possible. Stuff like that would help. And doing more scientific data would help with more expensive ones. So yeah, we got a microphone. We can take a measurement. That's cool. We got speakers. I just like banana plugs. I just thought it looked cool. This is literally one. If in case you're wondering, a banana plug is just instead of having a wire going to it, you want a fancy tip. That's it. The XLR is going to be like for microphones here. And we'll have these things. We also got the 4th inch. We have the RCA with the little jacket. And then we have the 8th inch, which comes in different sizes. You got the little babies. This is your headphone jack. This is some other size, and this is your standard like guitar jack, and for a lot of other things, the speakers, a lot of speakers will take these too. And yes, we're going to be using Equalizer APO to apply those settings that we're going to be taking with REW. We're going to be in REW, and we're going to make one of these things. That's a recording right there. Pretty simple. I'm going to do that here and show you how to do REW and set it up. And once we take that data, we're gonna fix it. And then when we have that fix-it data, we're going to go over Equalizer APO and how to use it. And I know what config.txt means. I know what it means. It's very important you keep this. This is everything. This is how it loads. This is the video game right here. This is the interface, and this is loading the video game technically. You have to keep config.txt exactly looking like that. And then when you open files, yep, it's right there. It's perfectly fine. I just want to mention that I had the hardest time figuring out how this works, because when I loaded it up, you get Equalizer APO with config.txt, and it's blank. There's none of these extra things here. Oh, actually, I need to remove that one, but that's an extra. Anyways, it's just a plus sign, and you would click on it, right? You opened up, hypothetically, let's go just back in time. I opened up Equalizer APO. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I needed to get my settings in here, and it has an equalizer. Oh, cool. There's the equalizer. We got an equalizer. You click buttons, and you can see it affects the sound. Probably doesn't affect the sound for you guys because I don't think it's routed through, but it affects the sound of my speakers, my system. By the way, this is a system-wide because this is going to be applied inside the computer. So the computer is going to take its signal from YouTube or wherever, and then it's going to filter it through this, and then it's going to output of the computer to whatever, like my audio interface, to other things. Now, if I'm polling directly, by the way, I just want to go over everything here. If I'm polling directly, like music properties, I'm actually polling from the window itself. So instead of it going through the system, because like I said, it's first YouTube or Firefox or whatever browser it is that you're having your audio for your computer, it's going to come out of that and just go directly over into OBS. So that's good. So you guys are just hearing clean data. My mic is though, well, that's separate because that is coming in, and that is not also going through the filter at all because it's grabbing it separately. But your Equalizer APO will. It will go from the YouTube through this and then out of your computer into your audio interface or your speakers or whatever you're doing. So yeah, we're just covering all of the things and trying to get everything done here. And I'm going to make a right and a left and a combined equalizer. And how we're going to do that. How we do the Equalizer APO. I'm off track. Let me get back on track. We'll just keep going with this one. So let's say I load up Equalizer APO. We add a graphic equalizer. Cool. We go File and we click Save. And we name it something, or Save As and name it something. You can't just load that file up into here. It doesn't work like that. What you're doing is deleting what it needs. This is your game. You have to make the game called config.txt. From there, you do what I did here, and you just simply click the plus button, and you go to Control, and you add a configuration file. What that means is Notepad. It adds a Notepad file. What these are, when you click New, this is unrelated. This is what it'll look like, and it won't run. This won't do nothing right now. If I change this, whoops, we'll add something that does something like this. You'll notice on down at the bottom there, it's not doing anything. Doesn't work. And if I save this, it's just going to be this. But when I save this, you can click on this thingy and load it. And that's how I have all my things. So one more time. When you click New, you make your thing. Whatever you're doing. Changing the sound levels. got this cool EQ. Like, okay, that's what I want to do to my speakers. How do I get it to make my speakers do the thing? You make sure that you have this config.txt as your first file, and you just click the plus sign, go to Control, include file, and you click on what you want. Like example. After you got example in there, and I'm going to discard these because we don't want them anymore. After we get our example, if you want to actually have the tab and have control to it, you just press the green arrow, and then you have your example. As you can see, it gets really complicated sometimes when you're doing a lot of stuff, so it's nice to have the ability to load the files that you want. All right, so there we go. That's how Equalizer APO works, just to let you know, is you load it up, you keep that config.txt file, and that from there, you just put in these. And if you want to change between stuff, then you can, like my EQ adjustments, this is to boost lightly with the bass. This is to give a heavy bass boost, like if you had a sub. And then this just boosts the treble a bit. Here I have one that cuts out everything down to 20 hertz. When it gets to 20 hertz, low bass, dead, there's no more volume, so that just kind of rolls off the bottom, as you can see there. This one is going to roll off a bit more, up to 100 hertz, just to get rid of all bass in general, period, so it kind of makes it more cleaner sounding. This one I made up even higher, so it's kind of like light listening for like a TV volume. And then we also have a really extreme one that makes it cuts it down a lot deeper. It goes a lot lower, a lot quicker. As you can see, this one kind of rolls off, so you get some extra frequency. But this one just cuts it off, and it's more like a phone to do more treble tests. And I have all of these set, which is great. I could split them up and make them into tabs, and all I have to do, like I said, is just go. Once I made this measurement, I literally just click Save As. It names this. And by the way, I just want to point out, you would go to your computer, you would go to Program Files, you go to Equalizer APO, you go to Config. That's where they live. One more time, where they live. You go to your main hard drive on your computer, where hopefully it's on that. Could be on whatever hard drive you got, but that is it. Go to Program Files, go to Equalizer APO, go to Config, and that's where your config files live. And by the way, these are literally look like this. This is what they look like. Just so you know, it's literally a notepad file. Copy channels to virtual channels to filter them while keeping the originals. That does not need to be there. This is all garbage. Let me open one that actually makes sense. Yeah, REW EQ data. Nope. That one also is simple. This one. Yeah. Here we go. This is what it looks like. This is for those EQs that I just went over. Which are, let me put these together. So these, each one of these is literally this. This is the whole thing. Preamp negative 20 decibels. Let's just go with that. We got preamp negative 20 decibels. Cool. What does that look like? Well, it's not on this one because I don't have it on this one. But it would look like this. Right here, basic filter, preamplification. It makes this, right? Now this allows me to adjust the volume. And this literal tab is going to look exactly like this right up here. Preamp, whatever decibel you set. It has to have the hashtag space capital preamp with the little symbol, space, whatever the thing is, the decibel, space dB. And it has to be written exactly like this. So literally all REW is, or not REW, all Equalizer APO is you click one of these and you're adding notepad data. It's kind of like a blueprint. It's a user interface. It's just a user interface. It's pretty simple. Whatever you're clicking on is just going to add the thing, like a graphic equalizer band is going to be literally this. This is all the graphics equalizer right there. Those are all the different settings I got. And this is one This is just one of those equalizer settings that I did. One equalizer is called hashtag graphic EQ thingy space and then all of this shit. So instead of you writing out all this crap and making it really difficult to bother with and annoying, you can just simply click the buttons and it makes those codes for you. It's writing the code for you. That's all this does. And like I said, you've made your adjustments, you go to File, you go to Save As, you name it, and you keep this config.txt file, and you just make one of these little include configuration files and add what you want. And that's it. I just wanted to point that out because I was lost forever trying to figure out why every time config.txt was... I didn't know it was that being changed. I couldn't hear anything, you know? And why when I make a new one, like, why I want it to apply and how do I get it to apply? Everything. Make sure you set your device too. And so this is stereo. You could have surround sounds, mono, and then wherever it's coming from. Mine is from the default headphones, which is not really headphones, but Rodecaster Pro 2 secondary audio interface. So there we go. There's all the things for that. And how to download REW is also the same, Room Equalizer Wizard. And this one was Equalizer APO. Those are the two things you download at the equalizerapo.com and at Room EQ Wizard. And you go to here as well. This one is really simple. You just go to, are you running 64-bit Windows, 32 Mac, Linux? That's it. You just click on that. It's really simple to get REW. Alright, now that we've done that, and we know about different cables, different things, and audio interfaces, if you were going to go the route of using a different microphone instead of a USB-C one, because you wanted to have that phase alignment to get your subs to sound just so perfect, that is fine. But we are going to go about doing it now for real, because I do want to EQ my speakers. That's what I'm here for. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. All right. So we're working with this. This is what we're working with. I got one speaker here, and I measured from this point to the wall and this point to the wall, to this little flap thingy, whatever. It seems to be pretty flush and flat. All the way across seems pretty consistent. It's good enough. And I just measured an exact distance. So to do a room measurement, you're probably going to definitely want to have a tape measure. It helps so much for speaker placement. Speaker placement is going to be your first step to making your speakers sound good. And a little kitty light thing, laser. This laser barely frickin' works. I need to buy a new one. I'm trying to find just a small, flat, high-quality laser that always works, where I can just, yeah, slide a button, actually. It'd be really nice. And so we're going to measure from this spot to the wall and this spot to the wall, make it the same. Let me go and verify what that is. It's indeed 14 inches. That's what we're going with here, because I'm in America, so we're going with 14 inches. And then I measured from this outside pole over to the wall, directly to the wall. And that came up to be 22 inches. All right. So now I got my base point to try to get a generalistic measurement. And that's where I wanted my speaker. That puts it from this wall itself outward to the middle of the speaker here, right into the middle. I think it's 2 feet. So I went with about 22 inches this way. I think it was that. All right, what I did is we went 20 inches from the wall to the very center of the speaker up here. And then I guess I went 22 inches to the wall about. And now, this is not ideal. This is not the best case scenario, but there's reasons why I did this. All right, mostly because we have this freaking window. And this window sucks. because we have to get to it. We have to be able to walk and flow over to this window. It's very important to be able to get over to here. Everyone looks out. This is the front of the apartment building. This looks at the entranceway and all the cars. So we want to know what's going on. I had to make everything off-centered. I had to keep the speakers I got them as far away from the wall as I could. Now, ideally, I would take this and I would move it right here. So your speaker would be right here. And that would be much more ideal to have the speaker be right there. Yellow. And then move the desk into the center of the room. Also, get rid of this table and make it be something that's flat with legs so sound can move freely around this easier. And that should help eliminate a big bass trap that I have back here, unfortunate. A little bit of a bass trap down here, unfortunate. But I did put these foam pieces, as you can see, with the American flags hanging over it. That's actually like 4-inch thick foam. You take one of them and just cut it into a third. So you have 2/3 and 1/3. And then you take another full one and you can make a staircase. And I just made a staircase. I think I even sewed them together with string. Or maybe I glued them together with adhesive glue. Yeah, and then I hung them on wrapped a rope around them and hung them on the wall with a hook. And that was good enough. Plus, I got all the other stuff going on here. The lights are paper, so they aren't going to do anything to the bass at all. So that doesn't really matter. And since it's an odd shape, any other sounds are reflected better. So it's not important. I think that's fine. And that's where they are. Now, the best part about this is I really do like my bass. I like low end. I like to boost these speakers and make them be able to hit low. And I can tell you, they hit low. 28 hertz. You can see right here. We're at 27.8 hertz at 80 decibels. We're still loud. This is all the same volume level. Same note all the way across, down, down, down pitch, the same volume level. You can see it does roll off at the end of it, but that's because the speakers are actually closer to the walls. If I brought the speakers closer together, this would help a bit. But I am going to have a bit of a roll off due to, I think my audio interface has a weird roll off here that I could compensate for. But all those compensations are what we're trying to go for. I just want to be able to play my piano, my MIDI controller, and have it sound good. You know what I mean? Like each note. I don't want one note where no matter how hard I hit it, it's like dead. That's what we're trying to make sure we don't have. We're just trying to get the best listening experience you can have. You can do this with a sound bar. You can do this with anything you can think of. You can get the data right here and make up an estimate on what you want to do. This is both EQ'd. So if we were to go to the left speaker only, the one that's farther away, you can see we got a lot more variation on what the actual thing was. Now, what button is it? This is that. This is that. This is that. Let's see, what's staying span? It's not telling me the decibel difference with that feature. That's fine, doesn't matter. We got 85 decibels. 75 decibels. 10 decibel difference is not really that great. Now what we'd love to do is move the speakers around in the room, all right, until this makes sense. If you want to do that easily, the best way to do that would be to, I guess, we're not going to make an ideal situation. We're going to make a realistic situation. You would literally just take and remove both speakers out of the room. Well, you don't have to move both out of the room. Move one out of the room. Take the other one. Put it right where you listen. Right in the middle. Now, we're worried about bass, all right? We're not worried about the higher frequencies, that almost at all. So don't worry about that. We're just going to be looking at all of your frequencies from like 1,000 hertz down. Mostly we're going to be looking at stuff around 200 hertz. And lower is going to be a whole bunch of weird stuff. And if you look at the waterfall plot of this, you can get a better idea. We got good control right here. Everything is fine, you know. Good treble. It's like instantly dying. The sound goes away. I mean, this is in 190 milliseconds. It's at 30 decibels compared to the 80 at the top. Whoops, I keep pressing the wrong button. So yeah, you can see that we got a bit more issues though, around 300 to 400 hertz. Yeah, about 400 hertz-ish. We start having all of this stuff happen, and that's because of the bass in the room. So that's what we're gonna focus on by putting this speaker right where we listen, right where our head is, where we sit the most, right where we want to hear the most. And then you would take the measurement microphone and you would set it up over here where you want to place your speaker. And you'd want to place it where the middle of the speaker would be. Because even though the speaker is producing bass out the front, for some reason, one or another, sound comes out of every direction when it's bass. So it's fine. Just put it right directly in the dead middle. I'm assuming the actual dead middle of a speaker would be closer to the cone, but still inside the box would be the measurement spot that you'd be referring to. And then just take a bunch of measurements in the area to find which one looks the best. And then when you put that speaker back over in that spot, it's going to mimic the result in that spot. It's universally flips back and forth pretty well. So that's the best way if you really want to get your speakers somewhere first and make sure that they're just sounding great. Awesome. Try that out, and it probably is going to make a big difference. Now, the closer you get to a wall, the more bass you're going to get. And I wanted that because naturally these speakers don't have a very good roll-off. Actually, I haven't even looked that up. Yamaha HS8 EQ curve. So we got 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50. At 50 hertz, they roll off really badly. And I really love me some 40 hertz bass. Down to about 30 is pretty good, actually. 30 hertz bass is great. Like, you hit those super lows, that is fantastic. But as you can see, 10, 20, 30 hertz, that's negative 15 decibels. That's really quiet. That's turning it down a lot. So that's not good. And then you go and look at my graph here. This is just with the left speaker. You can see that we have more bass, actually, than the rest of the speaker. And that's because I got it closer to a brick wall. And corners is going to help emphasize that. You're going to lose a bit of clarity in your bass. Like, it won't be as crisp and as tight and as punchy. Unless you get it just right, it takes a lot of effort, but in general, it just really helps a lot. So I boosted the bass frequency. I also had to do it on necessity, as you can tell, because of that path that I mentioned right here that we have to take over here. So that's the issue. And yeah, I'm catching up to actually doing the measurements and doing the things here. For now, I am just going over the process, filling in some of the stuff that I've already done and already have set up, so you can get an idea of what I'm doing. Like I said, I just measured that. I'm going to remeasure them again to make sure they're 14. I'm going to remeasure this to make sure it's 22. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side for the other speaker, because it's referenced off the wall. It's like going to be pretty much the same distances. That's great. By the way, these speakers are pretty much perfectly identically centered on these stands as well, so that does help. Don't worry, we're going to get to literal precision in a second. So I took and I did the same thing. There's 14 inches, 14 over here, 14 over there. And then did the 22 inches to the wall. Perfect. But then I measured from this exact corner straight over, you know? And I'd move this tip along the wall back and forth and make sure that the exact maximum distance is a set value. So from here to here was a certain distance. We're going to measure it. It's about 20 3/4. The issue is actually I have this foam in the way, and right here is where it actually has to touch to be flat. But that's okay. That's one measurement. Then we take another measurement from the back wall, because unfortunately there's a window here, a big gap, so that's different. I can't measure from the window. It's not consistent. But I can measure from the wall over to this corner, and right from the back corner and stuff. All right, 17 and 9/16. I am measuring anyways just to double check. I will actually have to do this in just a second to guarantee. So yeah, we got that measurement. And then we can do the same from here. From this edge of the wall straight over, we want to have the same number as going from this edge of the speaker over. And then, of course, we're going to do from the wall, not on the sign, but right on the wall to the edge to make sure that each speaker is as good as it gets. And how I start that off is I first check the bases. I make sure that they're both aligned as good as it gets. So they both are 14 inches from the wall in the back and 22 inches from the side to the outside of this pole. When they are both exactly lined up, then I will actually measure the exact center of the room. And I'm actually lucky because I have a reference point on this table. And I'll actually measure from the side wall over to 63 inches, which is dead center in the middle of the room. It's actually right about there. And that gives me a good reference point to point the speakers at. Now from there, I'm going to try to figure out where I actually want my speakers to be pointing. So you want it to be pointing at the back of your head, because the speakers are going to be hitting your ears, going through your head, and then meeting up behind you. And it's not exactly the back of your head, it's actually like 6 inches about behind your head or something, depending upon the width you got of your setup, of course. The triangle is basically, you're essentially trying to get your ears right where the speakers are flat coming into it. Now, I compromised because I have a big room. It's not that big actually, but I wanted to have the whole room sound decent as well. So I made the actual center point to be more in the middle of the room. Here, I can actually show you a bit, I think better. Yes, right here. All right, so we established where we were trying to point the speakers. That's important. We want a good sound, and I want to point it right here because my listening area is actually right here is my head sometimes, and sometimes back here. People like to be back here. This is also a pretty good spot because it's at a good distance in the room. It's not the center. You definitely don't want to be in the center. When you play a sound in here, like, you know, when you wobble a string back and forth, you get one that bends down, one that bends up, and it kind of like, it goes like this. And in the center of the string, there's none. See, a piece of string wobbles like this, but the middle is like staying still. That would be the center of your room. That's where there's going to be no energy, no sound pressure, no volume. Not going to hear shit. And then there's another one, and it's divided up. So I picked around here, which it should be good enough because the speakers are out from the wall, which kind of shifts the entire thing over a bit. This is a decent spot. Things that you can take into consideration if you really want to go all out, you know, that's fine. That's important. And it turns out that when I line that up by eye to kind of get it looking like they both are about facing there, then I'll take the center spot right here that I have a good reference point. And you could also take your stand and you can slide the pole back so it turns into a T shape. And then you could just take a rubber band or a piece of tape or something, and you could mark locations on that. So then you could take the stand and put it in the middle of the room with a T shape on top, and you can measure from both walls and find the exact center of your room, and then you can mark where you actually want to go from there. So what I do right here is I know that my speaker is going to be 12 inches facing over here, and that's by using actually the side. I'm taking this thing and I'm just slapping the laser against the side of my speaker so it's flush and facing straight, and that's repeatable on this side. It's going to be the same thing. And then I just see where does it kind of go, and I'll go and I'll put a marker there. I'll actually take a pen from here, and I'll just put a pen right here and right here. We're going to do that in a little bit. And make sure everything is measured up really nice and correctly. And then you can get them exactly facing, all right? So you already measured, you already got the stand set up. They're perfectly level with everything. You line the speakers up to generally get exactly down the middle, which is going to be great. Now your speakers are actually still not symmetrical. I went and checked, like I said, from the corner of the speaker to the wall and the back corner over to here and did the same, and they were off. So then I had to compensate a little bit, and I just had to take in consideration what that difference was, because it's already exactly the same as this one. So I already know that if this says something and this is off by a certain amount of numbers, I can just go down on the floor and I can subtract that or add or whatever I need to do and just move it just a little bit more in the direction I need until both numbers are pretty much symmetrical. And it really made a big difference getting them lined perfectly. It made it clearer. It made everything so much clearer. I can really tell you, if you don't want to go with the XLR route to get the big microphone port and buy an audio interface to be able to get accurate things on that, and then plus you're going to have to learn how to do phase alignment as well instead of just EQing. So that's all of the things to take in consideration in what I do. And then, of course, once I get them, lined up, then I once again go with my 3 dots and I put the laser pen on it, line it up exactly, laser pen exactly, make sure it's doing the perfect X, then take another measurement and move it just slightly. And you just do that a few times. You just want to get it close. You don't have to be exact. You don't even have to move your speakers if you don't want to, and if you can't. And like I said, I would rather have them move over to here, but I don't have the room. So to compensate for that, we're going to make an EQ. And a reverse EQ filter to flatten them out and correct those issues. And it's important to do certain things in certain ways, so yeah. Now I need to do it. I actually need to do the thing. There's pretty much nothing left to talk about and show you guys anymore other than doing the thing. Alright, well, we got our microphone. We got this microphone. I'm gonna have to swap them. Alright, we got our microphone. Take off that. Take off that.
I'm steady focused on money now. I'm trying to count to 100 down. That's daily. Gravy pay me. M's and M's, no slim shady. Make account going so crazy. Still live it up when I'm over 80. Flying, I'm hotter than Hades. Middle fingers up to the ones when I hate me.
All right, make sure it's right in the middle, holding it nice and tight and firm. We got it all set up now. And we actually want to take the measurement straight up and down. Now there's 2 EQ settings that have been calibrated on this. We have forward facing, which would be directional at like a source. If you want to get an accurate data of directly from that spot at something, that's great. But we're trying to get a room EQ, so we're going to be going up and down. And I need to get this exactly in the middle of the room in multiple different spots, which unfortunately I don't have a good rail system, which would be ideal, is you would measure the front and back of a rail up in the air here at the height that you need and make sure that it's all perfectly in the middle, and then you could just slide your microphone back and forth really quickly. We'll have to actually measure both walls and kind of get it lined up in just where we want, and we're going to take multiple measurements here as well. I'm going to have to take a measurement from here, which is probably going to be useless data where I'm sitting right now, and then one here, and then one as far away as I can get using the USB-C cable that I have. Be beneficial to get a longer USB-C cable, but we have a good one right here, 6 feet, a green cable, looks pretty. We'll be able to get about to right there and get a good idea of what's going on in the whole room and try to average it all out and make sense of that data. So the first things first for me is I have to start off with making sure the speakers, once again, as I said here, are actually true, that these are correct. On this one, this is my reference speaker that I want perfect. This is the one that I shift to adjust to make it perfect. So we're going to actually make sure that it's actually aligned in where we wanted it. And then we're going to measure these real quick and make sure that both speakers are doing good. And I do need to do the 3-dot alignment as well. So let's get into doing the 3-dot alignment to make sure that they're as true as it can be before we start anything else. Because they're already pretty much in the right spot. So I want to make sure that twisting them, because if I twist them in more, obviously this measurement's going to be different than the other one. So if this one got bumped when people walk on by, you know, then... yeah, if people bumped it while they walked by, I'll know. So I gotta make sure that they're actually true and actually perfect. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, is make sure that they're true. I don't really know how to film that because the camera, technically I could lock it up to show you. I guess I will. Why not? It'll take a second. Let me do that for you. And I won't have the mic for this moment, but yeah, let's do this. Let's get this job done. Up a little bit. Actually, let's put it further away. Just trying to line up the top and bottom here. A little bit more. All right, that's good. That's good. We're going to want to grab our tape measure. We're going to want to open a notepad on our computer to keep track of what's going on. So I'm currently getting the notepad here. We don't need a big one. We're going to have a little one. All right. Now let's go get her done. Take some measurements. All right, I did the first part. I just wanted to square away that we are indeed at 14. Let's load it up in here. We got 14 by 22. Perfectly on that. That is now accurate. So we're good to go on that. And we're gonna have to do the other one as well. So now, I guess I gotta flip the camera around for you real quick. So let's get on with that. We're gonna label this also left. Simple, simple. And we're gonna put a comma in. And then the other one, we got our right. And it should be the same, but it's going to be off in the long run. So first we're going to have to figure that out. And by doing that, I'm going to have to do the laser leveling thing to make sure it's facing exactly where it should. We're going to double check, though, the other speaker to make sure it's as close as it can be. The closer it is, the less variables, the better off you are. Now, I'm really sorry about the wires. Trust me, it's not as bad as it looks, I promise. But we have to take our measurements, guys. Let's do it. Alright, so that's what we got out of that. See how it's actually off by a little bit? We're going to keep correcting this until we get it just right. We want to make sure that these speakers are centered oh so ever perfectly. It is 11:56 a.m. by the way here in Minnesota. It's nice and cold. Check out outside. I want to show you a little bit and then we'll get on with the rest of the measurements. Okay, sorry. That was actually insanely good timing, guys. I've got to check this out. Check it out. Hold on. Do I got it? One of the poor fans of my baby broke. Arriving today. You bastards, why? No, I didn't get my fan yet. One of my fans stopped spinning on my computer. It's these super duper fancy Infinity fans. I'll just show you in real life here. It's unfortunate. Yeah, so here's the computer. Even has RGB on the side all the way around. But this poor fan, it doesn't spin. It broke. That's okay. We're going to be able to fix it. We got that cool dragon logo in the back. It is really blurry and now. There we go. Focusing. Just different crystals and stones and fun stuff like that. I really like that magnetic lock I got for my camera. That is pro. All right, moving on. Now we're actually going to take the laser pointer. Take whatever you can. This is conveniently flat. So, good enough. It doesn't have to be flat. It could be any laser pointer at all, as long as you can shine it in generally in the direction that you need, and you make sure that you keep it in the exact orientation. That is, the power button is going to be on the outside of the speaker, and then I'm going to flip it around and put the power button on the outside of the other outside of the speaker. That is going to be on this side, right here, shooting the laser beam that way. And then from this side of the speaker, shooting the laser beam that way. That's not what we want. We don't want the X to be like that. So let's do the measurement to here and make our 2 reference dots. And yeah, I'll show you how I do that. Next step. That's right behind me, so I can just go like this. Okay, now we have our first reference point. Now we're gonna make from there, since we have a nice reference point, we don't have to measure from the wall because it's difficult to constantly do that and adjust things. I'm just gonna measure out 12 inches in each direction and place a pen down, and we're gonna see how close both speakers are. Now, I really wish I had a better laser, but I don't, unfortunately. But I will grab the camera and show you the rest here. I won't be able to explain it, but I'm essentially going to be placing the laser on the outside of the speaker. I'm going to be shining it down there and trying to get the stupid thing to work, because these cheap little laser pointers suck. And we're going to try to see it hit that tip of the, well, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but we will be hitting the tip. Oh yeah. Alright, as expected, the one that's over there is essentially perfect because no one goes over and touches that one. Let's check the other one and see. Okay, well, we've established that they both are in the correct direction. So things are good now. Things are good. Things are good. Absolutely great. We know that the speakers are facing exactly where I need them to. We can check to see the quality of what we've done here. If we just kind of crouch down here in the middle, where we belong, and we take one eye and we look at this flat side of the speaker, and we come back until we get to the other flat side, and we want to make sure, yep, my eye's right here in the middle of the room. Hell yeah. Just wanted to raise the table up for a second because we're going to not need it to be down yet. We do want the table to be down for the measurement, but right now, this will just make it easier for you guys to see me and for me to stand. So let's do the next part. We're going to have to get the microphone aligned for our measurements. Are we? No, because we haven't checked. We haven't checked from here to here and here to here. We need to do those measurements. That's very important. We got our dots. In fact, let's change the color. We got the dots. We've done the dots. We know it's 12. That's awful. 12. I suppose we can just make it nice and skinny. That would make the most sense. Let's just do one good old arrow. There we go. So we have done the 12 inches. And we have done this, and this data. And we probably can add numbers or letters or stuff. I've never done it though. So I'm not going to do it. But I'm sure we can. Anyways, we got these numbers. This is going to be 14. We're going to give it a 14, and we're going to give this one a 22. All right, so you can kind of see, maybe. But we've done that, and now we need to reestablish these right up here, from the wall over. I guess we can make it big again. So let's get to the wall from there, and from there to there, and make sure that it's the same on this speaker from there, and the back of that one to there. And once we get them perfectly, which they should be probably already aligned up, we can actually start setting up our microphone. All right, 21 and 1/16. That's what we're going to write down now. Put notepad over here. So for the right one, put a comma, and this is going to be from the front. So put F, and the front to the side wall is 21 and 1/16. All right. And then the next one, give it a little bit of space in between all of those. And then the next one will be from the back to the back. The back right to the back. But we know which directions they are, so it's fine. We got 17 and 5/8. All right, so that's what we got for that measurement. Now we're gonna have to do the other speaker and find out if they are accurate. All right, we got a good view. Let's do it. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention. On the other wall, I measured from here to the edge of the foam to find out exactly how far it was. And we have to do the same measurement right here so that we can get an idea of literally where we're measuring to. And it is 23.5. And yes, it is exactly at 23.5, just like the other one. And the good news about that is we can actually just measure from the very edge of this foam, which is what I've been doing. So even though it's at an angle, it's a consistent angle still. So that's the usefulness since I have this foam in the way. And it's a little hard to get a measurement with the foam. We got a 21 and our 1/16. The exact same number as the other one. Perfect. As flawless as it gets. And we're gonna place it over here with the other one. That's the front, and it's the same, 21 and 1/16. So that is fabulous. And we'll just do this. That works for me. All right. And now we're going to do our backside test. Now I made an accident. Whoopsies. I hit the bottom end with my foot and I misaligned it. The good thing is we just need to realign it and the speaker will still be facing exactly at that pen. Okay, now I'm going to do the laser test to make sure. Ever slightly so off. All right, back. We're good. Let's redo our initial test. So we're going to make sure the front is at 21 and 1/16. And it is indeed 21 and 1/16 again. So now we can take our back measurement accurately. And not hit this bottom thing. (17 9/16). So we have discrepancy. Let's go back to a right speaker and re-evaluate the backside and make sure. Is it 5/8 exactly, or is it 9/16? A lot of work to get the camera where it needs to be every time. One sec. All right, sorry about the camera control. It is what it is, but I'm doing my best here. Just trying to get my speakers to sound as good as they can. So yes, I did actually look over the numbers, and it's actually a little bit under 5/8 an inch, and 9/16 is literally 1 millimeter, or 1/16 of an inch, I meant, of being 5/8. They're one tick on the thing, on the tape measure. So, I mean, when you got a tape measure with those little tiny ticks, which are hard to see. But there's even tinier ones. Anyways, you know, the small ones. That is what's going on. And that's pretty much as good as it gets. So I could technically move that speaker back half of, like I could move it back 1/32 of an inch, 32s of an inch. Yeah, I could do something like that. Oh wow, neighbor, okay. Just reading personal life stuff real quick. It is Caitlin's birthday today. Happy birthday, Caitlin. Appreciate ya. She lives upstairs. Oh yeah, my chicken. I gotta take a bite of that real quick. Got a lot of stuff going on today, guys. Cute. My neighbor above me is in Tennessee. All right, give me 1 second, and we'll continue our journey here. We're getting everything going. So we got our measurements. We know that both speakers are pretty much exactly the same. All right. Now we are ready to set up our microphone. So I'm going to keep the table up really high just for now. We're going to just get the microphone set up into positions that I want. Ideally, it helps to just have it be at about, well, pretty much halfway. It's just easier if you have it so it can bend like this. Then you just kind of inch it back and forth, and you're pretty good to go. It won't move around too much. Makes it a lot easier. Because up in every single direction is going to change the freaking thing. It's annoying. So we want to get our height first. Right there is perfectly parallel or horizontal to the speakers. We need this in the middle of the room. So once again, take out our trusty tape measure. Now ideally, additionally, you could also mark on the floor all the spots you wanted, and then like attach this mic directly to the top of the mic stand so it's perfectly stationary, and then you can just go up and down with it. That's also really useful. There's so many ways to do it. We're gonna do it the hard way, and we're just gonna get this microphone right here perfectly centered. All right, let's get this microphone perfectly centered. And we're gonna wanna do it in lots of different spots. I'm gonna wanna do it in a gradient. I think that'll be the best. So we're gonna start actually up here in the front. So I will actually have to lower the desk now. Put the desk back to its neutral spot. We're measuring with everything in the room being exactly where it's at. Everything we want to be pretty generic. Have it the way that you are normally listening to it. And yes, if you have friends over or other people in the room, you can actually see the difference. You can actually see the difference. It's really cool. So that's another thing, another feature. So let's get this done. I'm gonna get this centered up. I'm gonna pinpoint a spot on the desk, and that'll be easier for now.
way I'll ever drop that. Stains dripping on the road. You can mop that, 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 dripping on the road. Mop that, 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 mop that. Aim in my palm, ain't no way I'll ever drop that. Drop that, 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 drop that. These stains dripping on the road. Come to party, I kick in and put my money right. If you wanna party, you should know that I don't wanna fight. If you wanna step up, make it look tonight. If I know we did it whenever, okay, you know the thing. Right, 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 right.
Well, I can measure to the wall on this side, get 63. But to make sure 100% that we're doing good, I'm going to measure off the foam on both sides and recalibrate, just to see.
I'll ever drop that, 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 drop that. Big stains dripping on the road.
So with 2-inch thick foam, we're at 60. We're at 61. So that's good. That'd be 63. So that seems to be correct. Let's measure the other side and see what we can get. I'm setting it down and I'm going over there to make sure it's just barely touching the foam. Now see, this is off by a little bit. It's not exactly 61. It's actually 61 and 1/8 of an inch. Somewhere right around there is about center. And we're not gonna be able to get 100 billion% accurate, but we wanna try. So now we have our center point. Let's get the microphone set up. Gotta plug it into the computer. I'm gonna have to reestablish REW. So we can actually just close out a REW. And we can leave the Equalizer APO as is for now. That is fine, because I'll go over all of that anyways. And our measurement data is accurate. We're good. We got a good setup now. There we go. Put it back where it belongs, and let's get this mic to the exact height. Right there's the height, and we want to get it set up to this. But I actually want to take one measurement farther in. That'd be on the letter J on my keyboard. So I'm going to line it up to that. Okay, we got it straight up and down. I'm gonna actually give it a little quick tighten. There's a screw on the side of it here. It's a little loose. I just don't want it to move during tests. So yeah, that's essentially what we want, straight up and down. All right. Right in the center. That should be centered pretty much. Let's whip out the tape measure and make sure. .61 1/4. So we need to move it over because that was not right. I forgot, sorry. .61 1/8. All right, 61 and about 1/8 seems to be about the spot. All right, let's plug it in. Obviously, we should have plugged it in beforehand and done that, but that's okay. In this case, there's a spot in the front of my computer. I'm just going to plug it directly into that port and into here. All right, looks up and down, remeasure. All right, that's where I want it. This is about from the front of the speakers. It's about 1.5. So it's about 1.5 feet away. All right, we're good with that. We got this set up. Now we got to be careful. We don't want to move that anymore. But everything's going to be fine. This is really easy. No worries. We now have all of our data. We can reference it to 61 1/8 off of the foam and get really, really accurate results. Oh, I got to put the camera back. A little more. A little less. Just right. All right. We don't want to hit it. Sorry, I'm gonna go over here, out of the way. Alrighty. And now we got our microphone set up pretty much where it shows on here, this little yellow dot. And we're gonna go into our things and do the stuffs. So we want to open up a room. All right. And once again, if you're zoomed ahead, you literally just type in this. And you can download it from here. And I have to answer my door. Hold on, guys. That's the neighbor's birthday girl. My bag sprung a leak. We gotta do that real quick. And I gotta take it outside. And I'll run back and we'll do the thing. Alright, please forgive me. I have to go and take the garbage out really quickly. It's slightly and slowly leaking, and that is no good.
It's in my head. I'm living my nightmare. It's in my head. I'm out of air.
Watch my house for me.
To party, who it up, she baby. I won't tell nobody. 내가 날 지켜줄게 however you want it, my dear. Do you want to party? Who it up, she baby. I won't tell nobody. 내가 날 지켜줄게 however you want it, my dear.
Whew, much better. All right, guys, I'm back. How's it going? Doesn't look like we've touched anything. This looks like it's straight up. I'll take one more measurement to make sure. But yeah, this is where we would get REW. So we're gonna open up REW. I got it saved here. I put it in my start and grouped it together with a few things. Benchmarks, hardware monitors, room wizard, things that change stuff. So let's open up REW. And we're gonna get this all done. See, it has detected the microphone. Yes, use it for measurement. Now the first thing we're gonna wanna do is make sure the microphone and all the settings are correct. So we're gonna go to preferences. We want to use the driver, not the ASIO. That's if you were doing something else. So Java is just computer, we're good. Sample rate of 48,000 hertz, perfect. We want to see the difference from the left and right. Time of reference can be the right. And the default output device. We're gonna make sure though. I know there's one that doesn't work. I can't remember which one it was. There is this EXCL, and then they're just like the regular. I'm assuming I'll go to regular. So I want to do the Rodecaster Pro 2 secondary. That's what we're using. That is the output device. We want the input device to be this U mic. The output is going to be, doesn't really matter. The output is actually going to be both for now, but we're going to do all above. So we're going to have a lot of tests. So we're going to have both speakers, then left, then right. We're going to get all the data. The both speakers is mostly for reference data and options if you wanted to go the route of EQing both speakers first and then EQing each speaker afterwards, which probably is good. But you can also EQ each speaker and then the one after. In fact, let's ask AI and see what it has to say. We'll get an idea. All right, let's see what it's saying. So the correct order and why it works is you want to measure left alone and then measure right. This gives you the true response to the speaker in the room so you can perfectly get it fixed. That makes sense to me. That's what I was thinking. Then you want to do the right, then measure them together, but not EQ them separately again. EQ them together as a whole. And that's what we're going to do. Try to fix nulls. Do not try to fix nulls in the left and right measurements. Let me go over it one more time. So we EQ the left to flat, right to flat, and then all to flat. Now you do not have to flatten the combined left and right measurements. That's the trap. That's where people destroy imaging, tone, and phasing, and blah, 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 blah. The correct interpretation is flat within reason and left, same logic. We now have to flatten left and right. That is the key. When both speakers play together, the measurement contains interference, nulls, phase cancellation, summon peaks, blah, blah, blah. These are not fixable with EQ, not supported to be flattened. You can verify. Apply a very broad, gentle shared EQ. All right, so I did EQ both together just to help it out a little bit. You're not wrong that it can sound good because the difference between correct and slightly overcorrect is often subtle at first. The important thing is why flattening left and plus right isn't considered good practice, even if it seems to work. Why flattening left plus right seems fine at first. When you EQ the combined measurements to be flatter, you're mostly affecting broad tonal balance. Yeah, shared peaks that both speakers reinforce. Some room modes that appear in both channels. Those changes can sound slightly cleaner, slightly more even, slightly more centered. So yeah, it's not shocking that it sounded good. You didn't break anything, Castrop, but while it's not right long term, interference patterns are position dependent, phase dependent, fragile, different at every seat, constantly changing. So when you EQ left and right flat, you're essentially EQing things that can't be fixed, peaks that only exist when both speakers play, and comb filtering that changes with head position.
I get down.
My foundation was already solid, but that doesn't mean the method is optimal. The deeper truth, flattening left plus right is not wrong because it sounded bad. It's wrong because it's unstable physics.
If it's written in the stars, close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your heart. If it's written in the stars, close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your heart. If it's written in the stars, close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your heart.
Okay.
If it's written in the stars, close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your heart.
I get down.
So let's just make sure we're doing it right here. You can apply EQ left and right. You can apply EQ to the combined left and right after flattening the speaker, but only in a very specific, very limited, very controlled way. After left and right are individually flat, what EQ can you imply? A loud, broad, gentle, shared EQ. This means wide EQ filters, low order shelves, overall tilt, small global corrections. Blah, 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 blah. Voicing, preferred curve, slight tonal shape, incompetent for room game matching, not allowed. Flattening, da 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 da. The correct mode. All right, I should ask one more thing at the end of that. But so if I flatten each speaker, and then I applied an EQ to make them sound like another thing, like a room or EQ setting, pop, rap, rock EQs, or even like replicate another speaker's EQ directly, is that okay? Neutral baseline, once they're corrected, neutral blah da 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 da, and yes, this is the foundation, yeah. And after that, applying totally valid. Can you replace for another speakers? Yes, with some caveats. You can absolutely apply the frequency response shape, the tilt, bass shove, everything. Gives you surprisingly close to the flavor of another speaker. You can replicate tonal balance, voicing, target curve over a spectral shape. What you cannot replace with EQ alone. Directivity patterns, yeah, dispersion patterns, cabinet diffractions, transient behavior, distortion profiles, crossover properties. Those are physical properties, but the tonal signatures. So you could get it pretty close. All right. So I'm not going to worry about that anymore. So let's go over the rest of REW. So we got our drivers. By the way, we're up into preferences. If you're just coming back here, this is what we're doing. We go over to preferences. Then we can change it to the output device. Do not do EXCL. These are different, and I don't think they work. It might be the other way around. We'll find out here in a second, but I'm pretty certain that the EXCLs are not what you want. We clicked our U mic, which is right here in front of us. The input is going to be default and default. And the output. So we just want to do left speaker, then right speaker. And I'm going to do a combined one just so that we have an idea of what it's like when they're both together and we can have comparable data. But we're only going to do the left speaker, then we're only going to do the right speaker, then we're going to do both, then we're going to move the microphone, and we're going to do this multiple times until it's back here. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 4 different things. We're going to do all 4 of those things 3 different times because of each speaker and then combined. And we also, it's going to be running like 5 sweeps per. We're going to have a lot of data, but I'm going to show you how to go over it and get it all set up. It's going to be fun. I do enjoy this. Our sweep level is going to be negative 12 decibels. All right. Sound card calibration. If you had a sound card calibration, you can do that. I can run one on this and do it, and that's fine. I just don't want to get into that right now. Use the main speakers to test signal. It's not a subwoofer, it's main speakers. All right. And calibration files. We're on the sound card settings. We want to go to calibration files. It's very important that the U mic has its calibration file set. And it looks like it's set way down here. Could be set up there. Oh, it's on master volume. And this is default input. And this is the master volume, 90 degrees. So we could go back and we could just switch it over to microphone master volume. And still it's not down there. So you know what we're going to do? We're set to default. I mean, it is the master volume of this device. But we're going to set up what it actually should be, the 90 degree text. All right, so here's our calibration files. We have our regular, that's forward, and then our 90 degree tilt. And we want to open up our 90 degree tilt. And now it applies the filter, and this microphone is actually going to correctly tell us the exact decibel level of things now. That's very important. We do not need any more. We can get rid of that one. It's not doing anything. Lots and lots of them. None of them, yeah, way down there. Extras. And no, we're going to keep it the same calibration for each input. Enable MIDI, none of that matters. I don't know what this does. Don't know what this does. We can set the equalizer here. This is a full range speaker. A bass limited speaker is going to change nothing really. Nothing changes, doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's a full range speaker technically. Our bass management slope, 12, blah, 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 blah. This is... stuff I don't quite know. Target level is going to actually be higher. We might as well just set that for now. It's going to be around like 85 decibels would be nice. I guess we'll set it for 75 for now because I don't know 100% know all of this. I do know the cutoff, low cutoff frequency, low pass and high pass, low filter cutoff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure about all that. I'm not going to work about it. Room curve. I don't want room curve. Drop filters if gain is small. We can just leave all this alone. So what we're going to do is bring out our generator and our SPL meter. This is actually what the SPL, or actually what the decibels is in this room right now. And if we turn off the air conditioner, we can see, and I have a knock. Just shuffling my feet raises it 10 dB. That's how ambiently quiet it is in here. It's at 50 decibels. Just to let you know, 0 decibels is pretty much not going to happen. There's always ambient noise. And it kind of like, I'm pretty sure it's like a graph that like goes down faster and faster as you go. But yeah. Oh yeah, and we can do a test with everybody in the room too. So at the end, I'll bring both of them and have them sit in here, and we'll do another test just to show what it'd be like if everyone was sitting in the room, how drastically different your EQ setting would be. And we don't want that. I mean, ideally, you'd think, oh, it'd be great if I sat here, then it'll take in consideration how I sound. But you actually want the sound to get to this point perfectly. If you sit here, then you're actually going to change the sound as it bounces off of your face to the microphone, and it'll cause another reflection point, and you'll see that. It'll be a big dip because you're absorbing some of the sound. We want the sound to just pass through the air and be perfect so that when we are in the room, the sound's coming to us perfectly, and then it can hit us and do what it has to do anyways, and that is completely natural. So we got it set up here, and we can see that we're good, and we need to calibrate this. This is the loud part. So now what you want to do is you want to turn your volume all the way down. I have it at negative 12 decibels set on my device. So for my audio interface, it's all of that. Oh, yeah, the rest of the stuff you want to do, you want to go into your settings. Make sure your volume on your computer is 100%. You always want it 100%. You can also go in here and check your other volumes settings to make sure that everything is good to go. This is the default device. Is the Rodecaster secondary. We can only do 24-bit at 48,000 hertz. Max volume. I don't know why it keeps needing audio enhancements. We want audio enhancements off, spatial, whatever, off. You want all that off. I'm gonna actually go to my multi-track, and yeah, I don't know why it just loves to frickin' put this stupid setting on. I don't want any EQs on anything. Oh, of course it's off on that, on my TV in the other bedroom. And then our chat. Whoops. Yep, we don't have anything going. For your microphone volume, 50 is usually good. If you put it up too high, it just gets crackly. If you put it down too low, it's too quiet. I don't know why. It's just 50. It's a weird thing inside your computer. Put it at 50. You might have to put it up or down a little bit, but ideally it should be around 50. And we also have the U mic. We'll make sure that microphone is good to go. Yep, it's on default. Not communications. We've got the 24-bit. Everything is good to go. Audio. Allow apps and Windows to use this device for audio. Yeah, we want to use it. If we click that, it won't be used. So yeah, we're good on that. Our sound is good. You can also go to volume mixer and make sure that other things are good. Doesn't look like REW shows up, which is good because REW is gonna play its own sound. We're good on that. All sound devices in case there's anything that you want to do. I think we're good on everything now. More sound settings. Yeah, we got these settings. And if we click on that and do properties, you can see levels, enhancement, disable enhancements, spatial sound format off, stuff like that. I don't want anything on. I just want it to be a device that does nothing. It's very important. Okay, so we got everything set up. Now we're good to go. We're going to be grabbing our things. We're doing negative 12 decibels. I already have my device set to negative 12 decibels, but don't worry about that. I have other things. If you just have a generic volume knob, if you're just doing the computer, all right, I'm thinking that you would only do this then, and you'd put it at negative 24 to be so it's not as loud, all right? So if you're doing this without having another way to turn the volume down, because I have my audio interface to actually adjust the volume level, and I'm going to be matching that volume level, then we're just definitely going to there we go. We can do negative 24, but I have it set for negative 12. Negative 12 is exactly where you would normally want to do it, but it will be very, 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 very loud. And that's the scary part. If you don't have any way to adjust the volume on your stuff, I'm pretty certain setting this to like, I don't know, we're going to just do it negative 50. All right. So that's the level we decided. We're going to do pink random noise, and we can go and verify with our AI friend here if that's really a good idea. Pink noise is usually the right choice. It's not always. Pink noise is standard for 75 to 85 decibels, checking overall system gain, structure, balancing left-right speakers, room tuning, phase variable. When pink noise is not the best tool for room nodes, nulls, peaks, phase issues, and speaker boundary interactions and other stuff. And subwoofer integration as well, obviously, because that's going to be different. So we're good. We want our pink noise. We're on noise. We're not on tones. We're not on multi-tone or sweeps. We'll do sweeps later, and it'll be in a different way. And this is a sub-calibration. Oh, no, we're doing full-range speaker. You could do customs if you want to truly, which I'm actually going to do. We're just going to do 20 to 20,000 hertz, because that's exactly what my speaker does. It actually is around 25, but we're going to take a measurement a little lower than that, just so that we have a clean, shelf-stable worth to do stuff. Filter type. Not sure what that is, but I know 12 is probably good. Yeah, I just wanted to check this. If I went to play now and turned up my volume, no, we don't get anything. This button. Yeah, now we get noise. And if I went to negative 12, yes. All right, don't do negative 50 though. Do negative 24. If you just have a computer and you have nothing else you can do negative 24 at first, just to see. What I'm going to do, because I have a volume knob over here, is I'm going to be bringing it up. Now you can do negative 12. I'm just not sure. How would you do it with just a computer? So let's make sure we know what we're doing here. There's lots of questions I keep coming up with. I'm still learning, but I got my speakers and my friends and a few other people's audio equipment to sound amazing. So let's just go over this again so we know as much as we can. All right, let's make sure we know what we're doing. So, if I just have a computer with speakers and I plug this microphone in, what do I do with my volume levels for this test? I don't want you to turn this test on and blow your speakers or have a bad experience. So how do we do this? How do we go about this correctly? With me, I can just turn down the volume on my audio interface. That controls the volume. So I'd keep everything at max. The audio interface, I would just turn up to reach 75 decibels. To do that, I would we just take this meter that's telling us what's going on in this exact spot with this microphone, and we just play. And that's all we'd need to do. Also, make sure that the settings is for SPL. I forget what these do. C, I guess. That's the weighting of C. Yeah, we want the weighting of C. And then we want it to be in fast, not slow. Because slow is going to like do a much slower reading. This is going to be a much faster, quicker reading, so we know what we're doing. So yeah, that's all I'd have to do right there. Is now we got our volume set, and it looks like it's set to... Negative 35 on my device. That's where mine is set to, is all the way down to negative 35. That is a lot. But that makes it perfect. I actually like to take my readings more around 80, because then you get a little bit more stuff going on. And you can do 75 or 80. You just want a comfortably loud volume level, but you don't want to push your speakers to the point that they're going to distort or have issues. And we want to be above this baseline. So you see we're at 40-ish decibels over here. 50. So to get a meaningful reading, we have to be above that. Otherwise, we're just recording the room noise of, well, the ambient noises of traffic outside and everything else going on in the world. Not useful. I know I need to do this soon. What time is it? 1. We got to get these tests rolling out. I need to finish up reading this stuff. So we want to do 75 or 80 decibels is perfectly fine. Negative 12 decibels is just a reference point, which is normal. It's so you have some headroom. It's pretty much keeps you where you want to be. Seems to be a thing. There's a lot more to it. I'm sorry. I'm sure people know a whole bunch about everything that I'm talking about. But I'm learning, all right? So feel free to let me know what you think, in the comments and stuff like that. I guess do the like and subscribe thing, too. I am trying my best. Just having fun, though. You're just coming along for the ride. We're just hanging out. So let's read up. If we had just a computer, speakers, and the microphone. Yes, the correct gain stage for this thing is PC system volume set to 100. Never touch it during calibration. You want your computer max volume. Windows volume is a digital attenuator. Any value below 100% reduces bit depth and changes the calibration reference. That's why if you want good audio quality, you don't want to turn up and down your PC's volume itself. But that's if you have good speakers and you're not just using like laptop speakers or something. Still, it does make a difference. REW expects stable full-scale output. REW's pink noise level. This is the digital reference level, not your target SPL level. Do not change the negative 12 unless you have specific reason. REW uses negative 12 pink noise because it leaves headroom and avoids clipping. And the industry standard starting point for 75 decibels SPL calibration. So REW's pink noise is set to this. What you actually need to adjust to hit it. You actually adjust your speaker volume knob / interface output gain. Not all of these other things. Not Windows, not REWs, not the U mic. The only thing you can change is the hardware output level feeding the speakers themselves. So if you happen to not have speakers that have a volume knob on them, well, that would be weird to have a powered speaker with no volume knob. I don't think that exists. You could technically have one. Then you would have to run a DSP box, digital signal processor or something. You could run an audio interface or pretty much an amplifier. If your speakers are running off an amplifier, you would adjust the volume level on the amplifier. For my speakers, I actually, they have a volume knob, and right in the middle is perfect, but I actually wanted a little bit more out of them, and they actually have a limiter built into them to protect them, and it really wasn't pushing them hard enough, so I actually upped the volume level of both of my speakers just a little bit. I'll tell you exactly what I did. All right, these speakers, the Yamaha HS8s, they start off at +4 dB on the back of the speaker, and I upped it by 2 lines. You'd think that'd be about 6, but unfortunately, the max setting is 10, and there's only enough lines to get to 9, so I don't know if it goes past the last line and keeps going. But it would basically be +6 or 2 lines over is what I decided to push my speakers a little bit harder so that I could hit the bass notes that I like, hit the volume levels I like. I also sing and stuff, so I needed to actually reach a little bit more than reference volume. I needed a little more oomph to get up to that 100 decibel mark pretty much, or a little over that, and just to like really crank it and have fun. So you would be adjusting right now before you click on this fucking button to calibrate, because we need to do the calibration right now. And we're going to do it with both speakers and one speaker and all of that stuff too. To change that, it looks like it's down here. We can do that. And it is the default output, the same thing. Everything's set up. And yeah, now we're going to do the test. Just to let you know, before you click this button, turn the volume on your speakers down. Hopefully it's one knob for both speakers. If you have 2 speakers and they both have individual knobs, and you for some reason don't have any other buttons, you'll have to turn down both of them to do this test. Because I have an audio interface, we have another thing. So the signal from the computer has to come out at 100%. 100% volume, that's down here in the right. We're just going over this one more time. Make sure your computer volume is max. You want to turn the speakers themselves down, or your audio interface down, or anything that's outside of the computer is going to help you get your results. So we already turned it down, and when we click this button, it should hit 75. And that puts both of them at 80 as well. All right. Let's turn on some music, guys. Let's just chill. Let's have a little bit of good time while we're getting this done. We're about ready to press the buttons and do the things. There's a few more little clicks we need to do, so we're completely good. We're gonna even ask AI to make sure that that was a good test. Is that correct? Short answer is yes. That's exactly what you should see. 7081. That's typically what you're going to get. So that's a good thing. We're within ranges. Now we're ready to do a measurement. So let's go over everything one more time really quickly. We take our speakers, right? We take our speakers. We measured from the wall down here, 14 inches. We measured from the middle of this pole, or actually the outside of that pole, over to the wall, 22 inches. We did the same for the other speaker to make them as symmetrical as we could. And then we put dots down here to be able to get our exact line of focus. We put our head in the middle, and we try to make it so that either both of these are looking directly at us, or if you want to be more accurate, I look at the exact side, and when the flat side I can see, like I can see this side, but if my head came around to the other side of the speaker, it'll go away. You want to get it right where it's perfectly flat on the inside, perfectly flat on the inside. That's going to be where you actually are going to be wanting your reference point to be, about a foot behind that spot. But that's where your head would be, at least. And then you can take a measurement with the laser and find out where about that is. You know, you got one of them going, you got both of them about right. So measure from the side walls and measure the center. Take a laser and do the exact same on both sides. You're going to get a cross pattern that's perfectly centered in your room. Now you're going to have to go back and check from here to here and check this corner to the wall, the back corner to the wall, at least 2 reference points, and make sure that they both are that way. I had to adjust this one, as we can see in the list here. There was a discrepancy. It is 14 by 22. That's what the left speaker is, 14 by 22 down here. We had to move the base of the other one to 14 and a half and 21 and 3/4. So that means from the wall, it was a little bit farther away from the wall, and it was a little bit less farther away from the side wall. That was to make the actual speaker in space itself be perfect, because we were measuring down here, not the actual speaker, and it was just an easy reference point for me to use, was this pole and this thing. It's something I can do really quickly and get really fast, even measurements, and then we can work on the fine-tuning, which was to do these 2 sections. And we adjust this speaker just a little bit. We get it so that these things are good again. So therefore, what you would do is, since they're perfect, this one came out to like, well, let's say it came out to 10. This one came out to 9. We would just go down on the ground and we move the entire system over 1 inch. Out. 1 inch out. This was 10. This is 9. It's too far in. So we just move it out 1 inch and move it whatever the other, if this was like 10 and this was 9 as well, we'd move it out 1 inch. So it'd be moved in this direction, so that downward is 1 inch and left is 1 inch. And that's what we'd do. And I got another knock at my door. I'm almost done explaining, guys. Yeah, that was my neighbor Richard. We were looking after his dog today. What a cute little puppy he is. He's just a tiny little, like a chihuahua, but a nice chihuahua. Just wholesome, wonderful, smart little guy. He's really great. So now that your speakers are once again shifted, you would simply do the laser test to make sure they're 100% realigned and cross-patterned, and then you would once again, after you realign them, do another test to make sure they're the same distance from this side wall, or this like corner of the speaker to the wall, and this back corner to the wall. Do the same in both. Once they're exactly the same, and you do the laser again, and they lined up, and everything's perfect. If you want to go that far, you don't have to. Then we can simply get our microphone set up. We want it directly in the middle of the room. We're going to take 4 tests, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then 1 down here along in space. So this will be, as you can see, the microphone's right here. This is where my head is, this is where the room is, and this is back a lot farther. I want all the data so that we can get a really good room feel. If you're just going for exactly where you're sitting, you only are going to need to take 1 measurement, or you could take a couple if you really wanted to. Like if you had a really odd shaped room that made no sense, you could take a measurement 1 foot back and forth and 1 foot forward and back in kind of like a circle area. So the middle, forward, back, middle, right, left, that type of thing. And that's if you just want to really make sure that if you move your head at all, how much of a difference is it making? Is it a big difference? Because then you would probably have to go back and start rearranging things in your room to get rid of whatever that weird reflection is. Like if you had a big solid wall with no padding, the sound's going to hit the wall, come back. So the sound's going to come from the speaker to your ear, you hear it, but as the sound is at your ear, the wall is coming back later, and it's going to start affecting sound that's still on its way to you. So there's sound that's still coming, but that first sound is going to interfere, and you're going to lose stereo imaging. Stuff like that. You can go all out. But yes, we now have our microphone positioned in one specific spot. Our speakers are perfectly aligned. We did all the things. The last part is you can also take one speaker out of the room, move this speaker into these 4 spots where your measurements are going to be, or exactly where you sit, and then use the microphone over here to find out where your speaker actually should go. That is everything with the speakers and microphone. Then we went into here and we set up our preferences. We did our sound card, and we made sure that the output device is to the thing we wanted, which for me is Rodecaster Pro 2 secondary. We're using our U mic right here, our buffer of 32, default output devices and input devices. And we're going to be taking only left in measurements, but we can put left or right. I think it doesn't matter at the moment. I think in the measurement tab we have the thing to do that. Negative 12 decibel sweep level. And we don't have a sound card calibration, but we do have a microphone, and you're always going to have to do the microphone calibration file. Make sure you put in your microphone's calibration file, whichever one you buy. And we want to do up and down is the best case. You don't usually want to do forward. That's different setup. Up and down is where we want it. So we're good on that. Then we go to SPL meter and generator. We want to make sure that our volume level is perfect. So with nothing on in your entire room, you want to, once again, set your computer volume to max. Max computer volume, you know? And turn off all of the stupid special effects when you can go in here and you can see we got this crap. Audio enhancements off, spatial sound off. You want that all off. Max volume. Good to go. That's everything you need. Now, when you have this open, you only want to turn down, before you press a button on here, your speaker volume and or your audio interface or something that's not in your computer. Computer stays at 100, the sound comes out, and if it goes directly to your speakers, hopefully your speakers have a volume knob. You want to turn that all the way down. And if you have an audio interface, you turn that down. There you go. It's pretty easy to do. And then you would click the button and turn the volume up until you reach 75 decibels for one speaker. You do one speaker at a time. And you want to make sure they're both at 75 decibels, about. Now, you could technically, if you really had an issue, like you had really funky placement, you could literally make sure that both speakers actually have the same volume level at the start. If, like, let's say each speaker has its own volume knob and they're in weird places, you could 100% actually adjust one of the speakers to be different physically and get it set up right here. Or you could take note the exact difference, and then we could add that as a gain stage in our EQ when we get to the APO settings, which we got to get on the ball with this. 123, we have a lot of tests to do. I'm actually not going to do all the reference data for both speakers. We're going to do left and right here. We're going to do left, right, and both here, left, right, and both here, and then left, right, back there, and not do both anymore. And that'll just give us a little bit of data. So we're going to do the test again. This is left only. Right only. And we both have it at 75 decibels. They're exactly the same. Things are symmetrical. We're looking good. Now we can move on. That's all you needed that for. You needed to see, this is the cool part about why you bought your mic. It's telling you how loud stuff is at every frequency range. That's the cool part. The generator is just going to make a noise that is calibrated for you to do your thing. There's also white random and other crazy noises, which you can look up and experience what they're for. It's kind of fun. And we're done. Now we do the measurements. Click measure. We're doing SPL. We're going to name this right off the bat. We're going to name this 14-22. And yeah, apply the prefix with the output. It'll be right and left. Yeah. Well, we could just turn it off. You can leave it on so you don't have to type in right or left, but if you want to be anal and make sure that you know what you're doing, you can also just type in which speaker you're doing. We're going to do the left speaker first. And it looks like we can't change output right here, left speaker. That affects it right there. If it needs to be updated, because sometimes when you like type stuff, it's not updating it. Press enter, it does update it. So if you were to type stuff, you can also just click prefix. It'll fix it. I think if you click anywhere. No, you have to click on something. All right, cool. So we're on the left speaker. Sweep, settings, 256 for 1 second. This is just the timing. This is going to take 10 seconds, repetitions. Sorry. You want about 256. This is 5 seconds. Go from the lowest note to the highest note. If you want to be really anal, you can up it. It takes a lot longer. You can also do insanely fast sweeps, blip sweeps, and you can get really quick relative data that way. We're going to do the standard timing reference. We're not going to use any timing references. That would be if you're doing phase corrections, then you would apply these, and we're just going to leave that as is. We're doing 48,000 kilohertz sample rate. That is correct. We're not doing a single measurement. We're doing repeated measurements. And then we're going to click this. And we want our start delay for me to get outside of the room to be 6 seconds. And we want to take probably 6 measurements each. And then the rest of the stuff is not selectable, which is good. Output is default, good. Left speaker only. Play dither before sweep. You can. I don't think we need to, but why not? Capture noise floor. I'm pretty sure that we want that on. Let's ask. So when you click this button to start, it's going to play a long sweep from 20 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz. It's the only part that matters for calibration. Records the microphone but turns into sweep. Ignores the noise floor except as a reference. REW does not treat the noise floor as part of the speaker response. Only uses it to determine signal noise ratio, whether the sweep is loud enough, whether blah blah. Well, you don't want to capture the noise floor, so we'll turn it off. Your level of detail gets polluted. Waterfall plots look worse than they actually are. EQ filters get skewed. Blah blah blah. So you don't want to have it on. So is this good? You know, and I do a lot of this where I have AI help me out, and then I also re-reference it myself. You know, I fact check it, but it is nice to have things get to you quicker and get information faster. Yep, that's correct. Optional tweaks. Already got. Play dither before sweep. Usually fine to leave on, but not important. Where did measure go? Might have got lost in the other room. Hold on. So I have a TV hooked up to my computer. It's an 8K TV, or 4K TV, 4K TV hooked up in the bedroom. And sometimes things get lost over there. It's funny. All right, so yeah, it said everything's good. We don't have to play the dither before the sweep. So no dither. And we're good to go. That's it. 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz is what we're doing. It's going to take 5.5 seconds per sweep. We're doing 6 measurements per. Only the left channel. And we'd have to turn this off, and I'm going to have to leave the room. We're going to put the chair where the chair belongs. And from here on out, I think this is it. We're done. We've done all the things. We're good to go. We're good to take our measurements. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see. And you can even check levels if you want again. Whoops. Everything's good. Everything's the same. All right. So I'm going to have to leave the room for every single one of these. You can go into a spare room if you need to, or your bathroom or something while this goes on. You just don't want to really be a present in here. Technically, you could actually get the data from the bathroom. This is actually my bedroom, and then you go around the corner of the bathroom. Technically, there's some information there that will affect the room EQ, but it's literally not going to make a difference because we're worried about what's in here, first reflections, and speak literally from the speakers, and that's pretty much it. The rest of it's kind of washed up and too much to deal with. So here we go. I'm also going to, well, I don't know if I'll mute my mic. We'll see. I'm going to see what pops up here on the, if it actually, yeah, actually I'll leave my mic on so you guys can hear the sweep, I suppose. Let's just do a quick test. Yeah, it's just coming across on my mic. So if I was like talking during this test or something like this, compared to if I leave the room. Oh, and once again, we had an issue. So that's me standing here without talking, and I'm going to leave. But no. It breaks again. It's saying that the measurement signal to noise ratio is too low. We're going to say never show me this. I had to move some cups in the background that were rattling. So obviously that is a failed test. This is what you do not want to do. We're going to grab all of these. You hold shift. And then you right click and you just, what was it again? All of them, right click. Smoothing. We want to apply 1/3 or 1/6 smoothing. Humans can't hear all this noise chatter. You can see that they don't match. So we're going to just do some smoothing of 1/3 and apply that. And you can see the last one out of the room. Let's go here. No. We'll do it this way. We'll unclick everything. So this was this one. And this is with us standing in the room. It only affected the end. The one where we talked, you can see talking actually caused problems. And we really only had problems when I was in the room down after about 7K. Everything seemed pretty good. The green one was the most extreme. I think I might have been talking the most in the green one. You can see it definitely affected measurements. So you don't want to be in the room. We're going to just delete all that and actually do the real measurements. All right, measurement. We're good. Everything's good. And it's just going to measure the left. Oh, we want to put in what the distance is. This is 1.5 feet or 1.5 feet. Forgot to mark that down. Can we put a comma in? So 14 to 22, that's the distance that the speaker is from the wall, so I know my speaker position. And then we have the microphone set in center, which I'm doing the center test no matter what, so I don't need to know other positions yet. If I were doing other positions, then I would mark like it's on the right side and how far. It just helps in the future to say that you know exactly what's going on. So we're at 1.5 feet away from basically the front of the speakers. If you came forward in the center, I know from the speaker to there is like 3 feet, but yeah, and now we're good to go. I just have to walk out of the room and do the measurement. Hopefully this time it'll take all of them and we'll see what happens because it keeps doing that noise floor thing. But it should be fine. Put the chair back where it belongs, and here we go. Enjoy all of the sweep noises. Sorry about the sweep noises, but it is what it is. That's the process. All right, that looks like it sounded like it did its thing. Now it looks like we can't. Oh, we can apply smoothing. So hold Shift, select them all, click on here, smoothing 1/3. All right, now we're going to look at all of them together. Oh, we have to do smoothing again. Okay, so as you can see, all 6 of our results ended up being completely the same, which is good. That's what you want. That means you don't have weird shit going on in your house. You can see that we definitely had some weird things going down here over and over again. Every time was different, but higher pitch frequencies are really subjective to anything. Like the fridge could have turned on for a second, or anything could have, like some high pitched noise or whining or anything could affect it. So since everything is the same, except I notice that the yellow seems to be poking through a lot more. No, when we zoom in, it looks like the 2 green lines are pretty close. None of this data is within any type of marginal error. I mean, this is what, 73 to 73 decibels, 73.6 to 73.9. So these are absolutely pathetic, useless amounts of problems. The only thing I'm seeing is a lot of wiggle down here. And let's see which one most of them follow. It looks like we're going to get rid of... Hey, we got to add the red. Forgot about the red in there. We got to get rid of that one and that one. Our second one and our third one had a bit of variability. It looks like this blue one also came off much more odd. So we're going to get rid of the blue one. And technically you could just fuse all of them together. And then this yellow one seems to be much different than the rest. So now we have 2 that are as close together as possible. And it'd be the top one and the orange one. If we add all of them back in, you can see that 2 of them are doing some weird shit, which is the green and the blue. And back here you can see the blue is a little bit off, a little bit weird compared to these ones. The blue one is an extreme outlier. The red one should actually be noticeably different because I was leaving the room and it was the first recording. But it actually turned out really good. And then this yellow one is a bit funky. The blue one was just extreme for some reason. I don't know why. And the yellow one's funky. So I like to take all the ones that are pretty much the same. And then we can take all of this and we can average it out. And now we have an average. And we're going to make this into a group. And we'll call it left at 1.5. So we know where the mic was at. It's the left one at 1.5. And we can make this into a group. Add to a group. It'll become a new group. And this will just be left average. I wonder what an abbreviation for average is. Whatever, we'll type it in. This is left average, 1 1/2. So we actually didn't need to change that name there. We just need to change this one. We can make the color optional, which is definitely going to help. Make it red. Oh, I forgot. I had on these. So I want to not have it in a group. How do I ungroup it now? I mean, we could Control Z. No? That's all right. That is the only one that we want to actually have. Oh, I think we can just drag it out. Oh, okay. Yep, okay, I understand. So we won't put that there. So all of these, these we make a group. Huh? Oh, I clicked none. No, new group. This is L 1.5. All right, and then that's the average on this group. So actually, let's grab this and drag it up. Wants to be like that, huh? Oh, you can copy? Oh, Jesus. That's the 6. We don't want to affect them. All of these, though. Okay, we want to remove those. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one I want to move down to here. I'm just not used to it because it's going red when it's not selected. A little awkward. We can just add this to, is it, maybe? I want to remove the average. We're going to do it one more time. It's pretty easy. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. And the weird yellow one. We could EQ in, it doesn't really matter. And then we just take this and we go to average that out and we get our average. Okay, now we can add that one to a group. So everything's off, but this one's on. No, we can't add it to a group. Interesting. Wonder if it's in a group already? Either way, we're going to rename this one just so we know what it is. So that's left, or average. We're just going to put av, left, 1 and 1/2. Trying to stay reasonable here. Now we're just simply going to do measure on the right. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to go right, and we're going to walk out of the room again. I'm going to give myself more than 6 seconds because I think that was a little too little. 8 seconds sounds a little bit better. All right, here we go. All right, so we got the right side now. Oh no, that actually unselects them all. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to take all of these and we want to apply the smoothing so we can see. And honestly, right now I don't care. We're just going to add a group and do this later. We're going to add it to a group, new group. We're going to make this blue for the right side. And we're going to call this R. Let me turn caps lock on. R at 1.5. Oh yeah, and the average L is down there. Can we put it up in here now? Oops. Oh. Now I can move it. Okay. So we got our average up in there. That's cool. So we got all these. I'm going to go over this later. I'll do the same thing. We would take out these two colors because they don't make much sense. Everything else is exactly the same, so nothing else matters. Just these two colors are not the same as all the other ones, so there was some discrepancy that happened for that. We're just going to move the microphone now, and I'm going to just speedball these out. We're going to move the microphone to here, which is essentially where I can, well, my true listening spot is right here. So we'd move the microphone right to here. And then we're going to move it back to here and maybe go even further. We might just do 3. Honestly, that wouldn't be a big deal. And because we mostly are trying to get the information right here. But it's nice to have a little bit more information because I want to see what it sounds like up above and I want to compare it to back here. So let's get this microphone recalibrated for a new listening position. We're going to do the exact same thing, left, right. We're going to label what it is going to be. And then we're going to do the third one. And then I can have everyone come over. And I can go over the rest of the settings and stuff to show you how to actually change this information into a flat response for each speaker so that we can apply these EQs to our speakers. This is actually what our speaker is doing, by the way. You can see we have a big old boost here in bass. So it's pretty impressive that at 25 hertz, we're still at 70 decibels, but it does roll off at 30 hertz. It's about as far as we can push them. And that makes more sense because I had them closer to the wall, and when they're closer to the wall, we actually bumped this out just a little bit more. But that's okay. It's actually like 28 hertz, to tell you the truth, which is exactly where it always is. But this dip and these two things are caused by the room reflection. This dip and this bump is literally caused by room reflection issues, and some of these other bumps are caused by the room. It's the speakers being like close to the wall and stuff. But you can see overall, this is where everything is that makes sense from our speakers. So all of this is too loud. This is the wall reflection bullshit. That's what we want. We want to actually have a little bit extra there. Here specifically, I don't want to have extra because this is muddy territory. From 100 hertz to like 600. This is all the mud. This is the warmth of a song, and you don't want that too loud. So we definitely want to get rid of that and calm that way down. And the bass is boosted, which is good. This is why the speakers are by the walls, because now my speakers are producing more bass than they would if the speaker's in the middle of the room and the mic was right here, or if it was out in the field, that bass would be much lower. But because we got next to the wall, it actually boosts the bass, which is great because now we can EQ out that bass a bit. So whenever I want to add more sub bass volume, which is very desirable, I can actually boost the volume from 80 decibels down to 70. So I'll boost it up.